All right, guys. Hey, hey. I'm Stacey Sauls. I'm out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and thank you guys so much for having me here with you. I love Q&A, so I'm going to go through how we built our repeat referral business. And if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me or put them in the chat box because I absolutely thrive that way. And then also, I would love whoever's on the Zoom, let me know how many years you've been in the business, just so I can kind of see who's in the Zoom room. All right. Oh, good, 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 good. Okay. I just wanted to see that because there's two parts to the class. One is, obviously getting your leads, and the other is turning it into repeat referral business. So I tend to focus more on the repeat referral business versus lead capture, but we'll touch on that as well. So 3 months. Welcome, Tim. 1 month. Okay, good. We have a great variety. Okay, well, I'm so, so, so excited you guys are here. So, something about our team is we have sold over 2,700 homes. I've been in business since 2011. I was a solo agent until 2016 is when I started building the team. 2011, well, I got licensed October 2011. So 2012 was my first full year. By 2016, I sold 100 homes that year without an admin. And I'm not telling you that because I'm proud of it. I'm absolutely not. But what I am telling you that for is so that you know that I know how to turn one deal into other deals, which is basically where the class came from. We've never paid for leads. So I'm very passionate about that. I feel like if you actually know, like, and trust somebody and they know, like, and trust you, then you want them to send you more people that are like them, if that makes sense. So that's how I built it. Um, if you scan this QR code, it will take you to our playbook and you'll get literally, I don't know if you can scan it if my arm's on it. It'll give you literally everything that we've put together and that we've learned as a team. So that 2016 year, when I didn't have any support, and the business kept coming in, I obviously had to hire pretty quickly. So I've had the team for about 10 years now. And what we've learned along the way is that there's a good way to build a business and there's bad ways. We've had lots of ups and downs along the way, but all the good stuff is going to be in this playbook so that hopefully you don't have to go through the trial and error that we went through. There's database tagging systems in there, how we run our client events, and it's a living document. So whenever we update things or add pages to it, if you're signed up for it, it will go ahead and email it to you whenever we make those adjustments. And then I also put it in the group chat if you want to just go to the site. It's the staceysaulsgroup.com/playbooks. So we're super agent friendly, and that's the reason I'm here today is because I couldn't have built a business without Keller Williams and all the agent support just giving me the knowledge to learn. And so this is kind of our way of giving back and helping other agents grow our business. We are 60% sphere of influence and 35% agent referral every year. And so we track those ratios every single month just to make sure that we're in line with that. So our agent referral partners are really important to us. And then that repeat referral business as well. The 5% is, like a random Zillow call or a sign call that we convert, but that's not a large part of our business at all. It's really the people that we've already done business with. So the first part of the class is getting the business. So when I started, I didn't talk to anybody for maybe 10 years because I was a real estate paralegal. So I lost all my connections. I had Facebook, but I wasn't really active on it. So what I started doing was messaging people on there and just saying, "Hey, I'm in real estate. Do you know anyone that I can help?" Or an apology. "I haven't talked to you in 10 years. I know it's crazy. Life happens. I'm a really crappy friend, right? So just being honest. And now I'm doing this. I would love your support." So that was my lead generation strategy. And it takes a while. It takes a while to start working, right? We all know that. And I actually thought about you guys this morning because my son plays soccer and he was trying out for national team yesterday and we didn't get we didn't get the acceptance, which is fine. He'll be on the regional team, which is great. And he was a little down about it. And I texted him this morning when he was waiting for the bus and I said, "Hey, trust me, all your hard work that you've done will pay off. I promise. It might not be immediate, but you're going to see the results." So that was the text. And I'm driving to work and I thought, that's the message. We teach our kids the same things that we should be doing. We've got to do that hard work up front. And that's how the business was built. It's not fun. It's not glamorous. I was making at least 20 contacts a day. It was awkward. It was hard. And I just kept doing it because it's the best way. I mean, there's a million other things I could do, right? I could post social videos and hope people send me business. But really, that direct contact of, "Hey, I'm here. Do you need any help?" is the work that we have to put in. So, kept doing that. And eventually, I got a client. And then I learned really early on, hey, I like these people. They're really cool. So I said, "Who else do you know?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't know. We don't know anybody right now that wants to buy or sell. We're young, we're first time home buyers. All of our friends haven't done this yet." And I was thinking, all your friends haven't bought a house yet? That's a great opportunity. So throughout the process, I said, "Hey, give me your friend's name. Let me call somebody who's ready to stop renting." And so turned one deal into another. And before long, I promise you, 100 contracts in a year. So I was signing contract every 3 days. So start my week. Well, Sunday night, I would prep for the week and think, okay, who can I get under contract by Wednesday? And then by Wednesday night, I would say, who can I get under contract by Saturday? And then Sunday, I would regroup. And it sounds crazy. And then I didn't have a database. So some of you have heard the story, but I had cans on my desk. So just think like a soup can, craft can, 3 cans, and popsicle sticks. So I would write, "Nico wants to buy, budget 300,000, and then where, location, right? And then phone and email." So that was the contact. And it would be in this lead prospect can. And then when Nico goes under contract, I would move that popsicle stick to the next can. And then Nico closes. Great. Now he's in my closed can, which was essentially my database. So that can was so important to me because those are the popsicle sticks that I need to keep touching. Yeah, Nico closed, but the job's not done, right? I still need to know a week later, "Nico, like, how's your new house? Is there anyone else I can help with? A month in, "Nico, is there anything that you need? Do you need any vendors, right? Who else can I help?" So basically, just teaching them how to send me business because I didn't have time to do anything else. I had 2 little kids at home, right, when I'm building this. And my husband's amazing. So he's doing a lot of that. But gosh, I'm running around trying to figure out the fastest way to get the clients. And what I found out is if I get a lead from Zillow or wherever, they don't know and like and trust me. And I went on a listing appointment. I was there for an hour and my conversion wasn't great. Like I kind of talked them out of hiring me. Like I talked too much, like got to get out of there. Whereas if I call Nico and he says, "Hey, cool, my friend Sarah is ready to sell her house," I could go into Sarah's house and leave in 10 minutes and get the deal because I don't have to earn the trust. It's already there. So it's the script of, is there anything other than pricing that we need to talk about? So I'm all about fastest way to the sale. You guys can call me lazy or efficient. I don't care. It was the path of least resistance. And so for leads, the path of least resistance is to ask the people who already know you who they know. And it's awkward and it's uncomfortable. And I do it every single day because I would much rather do that than stand at an open house and hope somebody comes in and then hope that they like me and then hope that they get to know me and then hope that they eventually trust me. That just sounds exhausting, right? Like I'm like, oh, now I'm not dissing open houses. Our agents do them. I love them. I think it's a great way to supplement your business. But first, let's wake up and let's call Tim or text him or Facebook him and say, "Tim, who else do you know that needs to buy or sell?" And people will say, well, Stacey, you probably had a big sphere of influence. You guys, I didn't. I had to start building it on those popsicle sticks. That's a small database. If you could fit popsicle sticks into a can, that's a tiny little database to build from. And even today, what we have over 2,700 closings, and our database has 6,500 people in it. That's it. It's very small considering the business that we built because the only people that are in the actual database are people that know, like, and trust us. That's clients. We have a lot of realtors. That's a separate grouping. But what I want you to hear from this is that build the database, whether it's popsicle sticks in a can, or if you're using Command, Brevity, doesn't matter. You want those contacts in your database to be clean, good people. I want to know, I want to put Amber in there. I want to know her phone number, her email address. I want to know where she lives. And when I talk to her, I want to add notes in there about what we talked about. And it's not if it's just, hey Amber, how's it going? How's your family? I don't need to put every note in there, but if Amber tells me, Stacey, we're good, we might want to buy a bigger house in the next year or two, that note has to go in there because that's my lead follow-up, right? So the popsicle sticks in the can didn't really serve me as far as lead follow-up. So once we started hiring people, I got a director of operations who said, this is a mess. We're putting you in command. So now that's what we use. And we've got a whole tagging system to help us stay organized. I'm gonna look at the chat just in case you guys have questions as we go. Anyways, so you'll get our tagging system and you can call me, email me at any time, and we'll help explain it to you how we do it because it's very intricate now because I want to be so clear about who I'm connecting with. In the beginning, I would just reach out to everybody, right? Until I got a lead to put on the popsicle stick. So here's what happened. 2016, it's growing. I told you guys, it's amazing. I start hiring and building a team. Well, built the team, but I didn't tell them how I built the business. So we lost referral at every touch. So I'd write that down. Referral at every touch. That's something you want to live by. That means we're asking all the time for the business. So what was happening is I would get Todd as a lead and I would give Todd to my buyer agent, but I didn't train the buyer agent to ask for the business. So we became very transactional. We, over the next few years, got up to a few years in a row of a little over 300 units, which was pretty good. And then 2023, 2024, we dropped to 200 units. So as a business owner, that's 33.3% of my company income. And by that time, I've got a lot of people hired. I've got a lot of families I'm in charge of, right? And so I had to sit down and think, what just happened? How do you lose 33% of your business? And that's where this class came from. We lost it because we weren't touching the people the way that it was built. I have a little outline too, so sorry. I want to make sure I don't miss any big stats for you guys. All right, so repeat referral business comes off of compounding trust. And what I mean by, we talked about, they trust you when they hire you, but what happens after? If I don't follow up with Nico and make sure that Nico's good, right, in the house that was purchased and that they have everything that they need. If I'm not touching base with them and checking on them, they kind of think I forgot about them, that I just got my check and waltzed out of there. I was like, good luck, Nico. Right? So the compounding trust is checking in on those people and letting them know that you still care because Nico's going to buy another house probably in the next 3 to 5 years. I don't know what, how long people stay in houses there, but here they usually are upsizing, downsizing, job relocation about every few years. So I'm already building my future pipeline just by checking in with Nico. So at a minimum, I want to check in with Nico 4 times a year. That's a minimum. And it doesn't have to be salesy. It's just, hey, how's it going? Or I would do one sale. It's probably the year mark and just say, hey, here's your new home value. Is there anything I can help you with? Because people love to know their home value. And, have you guys done any upgrades, updates I need to know about? The National Association of Realtors stats say 80% of buyers and sellers would use their agent again, but fewer than 15% actually do. And that gap is lost connection because they think you guys don't care anymore. So they go on to somebody else. They have a better connection with their sister's friend or whoever that got their license, right? Everyone has a license. So you are trusted at closing. Why not be trusted for years after that? And here's how I realized this aha. Somebody asked me for a painter, and I thought, gosh, should I give them Paul's name? I haven't talked to Paul in forever. Paul hasn't checked in with me. I don't know what Paul's doing. I don't know. So I actually didn't even give his name out. I was like, I don't know. I don't really have anybody I use anymore. And then I thought, gosh, I'm going to call Paul. Let me be the one to call him. And then I started thinking more about it. This is what happens with real estate agents. Our clients are at the office, they're sitting at their desk, they hear a water cooler conversation to people, yeah, I'm getting ready to look for a house. Oh, cool. Where are you looking? Blah, blah, blah. And you want your client to hear that water cooler conversation, and you want your relationship to be so strong that your client gets up from their desk, waltzes over to the water cooler and says, "Hey, I heard you talking. Do you have a realtor? You really need to call Stacey. She's awesome. She helped me buy a house 5 years ago. She still checks in. She gives me updated home values. She's amazing." Right? And if we're not touching base with them and we're just transactional, they hear that water cooler conversation, they'll think of you, and then they'll think, oh, well, they haven't talked to me in forever. And then they start thinking, I was probably just a paycheck. And so it goes the complete opposite way of what we want it to go when we're scared to check in with them. And trust me, I was scared. I still am like, sometimes I'm like, I should text this person. And what I found is that even when I do it scared, it comes back to me in some way. They just want to be thought of, right? And that's a big issue we have in the industry, is that people think that we're overpaid and that we just want the check. And what they want is to know that we care. So here's another stat for you. It's 5 to 7 times cheaper to keep a client than it is to find a new one. Word of mouth is the brand equity that you can't buy. So true. We can buy a billboard. We could put this beautiful billboard out there, or we could just call JB and say, "Hey, who do you know that wants to buy or sell?" I know I said call a lot. I actually don't like phone calls, so we can touch on that too. I'm very much introverted unless I have some wine. So for me, I like text messages. I think they're straight to the point, sometimes voice memos, just so they can hear your tone and know you care. And it would just be like, "Hey, it's Stacey. I'm just checking in with you guys. I hope everything's going great. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know." Because what happens if I get on the phone call, that sometimes does feel very salesy. It makes you feel like you are a quarterly phone call, right? "Hey, it's Stacey. How's everything going?" It's just awkward. They're driving to work. They got the kids in the car. Like, they don't necessarily have time for a conversation. I don't either, because I need to make my contacts. So it went from 20 contacts a day to I'll do probably 100 a day now. So I've got to be very systematized, because I like to stop work at 2 o'clock. That's my cutoff time, because I've got, a little soccer player. Well, he's 14 now. And I've got a little cheerleader who's 12 now. But my priority is getting those kids where they need to go and just being there for all of that. So for me, I've got to be intentional to the point. Like, "Hey, Amber, checking in with you. Is there anything you need from me?" And if Amber doesn't respond, I don't care. I did my touch, right? She'll respond when she's ready. So it's those contacts. If you get anything out of today, please get that you have to start tracking how many people you're talking to a day. We'll go home exhausted. "Oh, we're so busy today." And your spouse will say, "Well, what'd you do?" "Oh, I just did a bunch of paperwork." Okay, that's not moving your business forward, right? "I had the longest closing." Okay, but did you ask for the business? Like, you're exhausted, but you didn't get anything that's going to move your business forward. So make that your everyday challenge. What can you do today to move it forward? Imagine going home and saying, "Ah, I'm so tired. I did so much." And your spouse says, "What'd you do?" I reached out to 100 people today. Okay, that's moving your business forward. And that's putting in the hard work that you might not see the results today, but everything's going to start to compound over time. And then you're going to have the leads coming in. And then what do? You ask for more business. So let's talk about the client relationship life cycle. First, you attract them. So whether you meet them at an open house, whether a friend, past client sent them to you, they're going into your database. Please switch from the popsicle sticks if you use them. I had index cards too. Put them in a system. We need them in a system because one day you might need leverage and need other people to know how to communicate. The next step in the life cycle is deliver. That's the service that you provide to them. So making sure that the service that you provide is great. Following up after closing. We already talked about that. An advocate, help them be your spokesperson. We touched on that too, but we want them to tell everybody how great you are, right? And I was always very clear if I had a lot of deals in my old neighborhood and people would ask for discount and commission. And so if I did any sort of, something on my commission, I would say, hey, you know what? I'll do this for you. But when you tell people my name, I don't want that to come up at all because that's not how I'm building my business. I'm building it off of great service. So at the end of this, I want you to say, Stacey delivered such great service that you need to call her. I don't want to hear, Stacey gave me this commission rate, right? Because you don't want a reputation for that either. That's going to affect your overall business. So I'm just real open and honest, like, hey, if I do this for you, that is not the talking point with your friends and family. That's not how this is going to go. You're going to say, I did the best job for you. I made you the most money in the shortest amount of time because that's what I do. So letting them know what you want the story to be. Memorable client experience. So now we've got the client. So how are we going to do such a great job that they're going to send other people to us? That is a great question. We are going to set expectations early. Clarity reduces stress. And I don't mean that you say to your client, hey, Matt, this is how our contract works. This is how this is going to go. We're going to do this, then we're going to do this, then that, and where you just throw up the whole process on them. You're not trying to educate them as if they're a real estate agent. They don't need to know everything that you've learned, right? They just need to know what is the next step. They don't need to worry about what ifs, what could go wrong. So just making it really simple for them. We just started your home search. As soon as we find the one, we're going to review what that looks like. Meanwhile, I already know how much money they have in their account because I've talked to the lender, what the mortgage is for. I can get all that information behind the scenes without stressing them out. So the most important thing right now is that we find your next home, right? Then we find the next home. Okay, the next step is to write the offer, right? Okay, the next step is we're having an inspection. The next step is you'll have an appraisal. So I'm not doing all of this at once. I'm basically just pushing them forward a little bit, little bit, little bit. Because if you let them know the entire process, it's really stressful. Now we do have a timeline of events, which I believe is in the playbook. If not, I need to add it. So if they want to look at the whole process, they could see it on paper. But we just need to be very, very clear and just make it easy on them. People want to do business with people that make it easy. That's why Amazon's so big, right? We just want to say what we want and we want it delivered in 24 hours. They want you to be their Amazon. I pulled up to a gas station a couple weeks ago, and I'm not proud of this because I had my little 12-year-old in the car, and I went to the pump and it said, come inside to pay. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That is not easy. And I get mad and I just say, we're going to a different gas station. She's like, Mom, what's wrong? I said, this is ridiculous. This is the problem with businesses today. We need to make it easy to do business. I said, I'm not getting gas there because I don't want to take my time to walk in, right? There's the lazy or efficient. I don't care. I don't want to wait in line and then guess how much gas I'm going to put in my car. Like, please get your systems operating efficiently for me so I can do business with you. So I'm ranting. And she's like, okay, it's just a gas station. And I said, but it's so much more than that. We have to build our businesses this way to where people are so happy and say, we made it so easy that they end up calling you saying, hey, I'm in real estate school. You made it so fun. I'm getting my license. And you're like, good luck with that. But that's also a compliment and a testament to you taking them step by step and making it easy to do business with you. Celebrate milestones. So, home under contract, appraisal, inspection. You guys know all this. We are doing more, I would call them delight phases now because we want to have control of the entire process to keeping the client happy. We've got a lot of inventory. Well, we have 5 months inventory in our market now, which is a lot for us. So it's more of a balanced market. So what we don't want is for a buyer to go under contract and then see a shiny new object down the street and want to switch homes. It's actually easy for us to get out of contracts here. So we don't want that to happen. So we do more delight, which is for instance, we put an offer in for somebody yesterday, and the whole time we're like, oh, we hope that you win this. Like this is a perfect home for you. And you're going to be so, and meanwhile, we know the seller's signing the offer. And I said, like, hey guys, I feel really good about this. If we win this, we are so lucky. This is such a great house for you. So you're just setting them up to think like, we're so lucky. We got this house. This is our next house. So just controlling those emotions from the beginning is going to be a great tactic. Use video, voice text. I already said that. But yeah, you can send a video message too to people if you want. I'm careful with the text messages for milestones. I don't want to be like, contract accepted. I'm going to probably send a voice memo. I don't want a long phone call either. So I'm just going to be like, hey, you guys, guess what? They're signing the offer right now. I'm so excited for you. This is so awesome. And then I'm going to let you know the next step. Congratulate with a social media post. People love that. I feel like our social media is more for our clients than it is for us getting direct business, right? And I've completely changed my viewpoint on this because I used to think, well, if I post enough or I do this or do that, it's just going to bring more business to me. But it's actually through the clients you serve. So if you make them the storyline, they are so, so happy to share your name with other people. And it just gives you more social media stories, right? So instead of looking for the random that says, oh, I saw that you sold this house, I'm posting Jennifer's house, who we sold, making her the center of the story. And then she's going to share it on her post, which will then have friends reach out to her to ask who she used. Does that make sense? So now you're taking your client's sphere of influence and almost combining it with yours indirectly so that you have a 10-minute listing presentation, right? They trust you. They don't feel like you're just trying to sell them a house because you can now narrow down their list to 20 houses and say, hey, after talking to you, I feel like these are the top three. So we're going to do it like HGTV. We're going to go see three. We're going to pick one. Ha ha ha. But no, seriously, right? And you've got to have that trust to be able to do that. Otherwise, you will end up showing 20 houses. And at the end of the day, they still might think you were just after a paycheck. So that's why I'm so if you pay for leads, that's cool. I'm just letting you know how we built it because it's, I swear, the easiest way. Um, let's see, staying in touch without being salesy, send genuine check-ins. Here's an example of this. Hey, I saw this new restaurant that just went in down the street. It made me think of you guys. Sometimes I'll do, I saw this house and thought of you if I know that they're gonna buy or sell soon. It could literally be anything, oh, I've just closed at the same attorney's office where you guys bought. I was just thinking about you guys, right? Anything, just touch them with something. And then when you put them into the database, this is where we do have a system that will touch them further because how am I going to touch 6,500 people that many times? I mean, I'm doing a lot a day, but even if you do that math of the contacts I'm doing a day, like it's hard to get all these people in with the touches. So we do have a monthly newsletter. I realize that's later. Like have somebody else do that. Please don't spend your time doing a newsletter. I tried, I was terrible at it. So now somebody does that. And then an annual event, we do Santa photos, which is that is in the playbook too, where it's just 4 hours in my time. We've got it all set up. It's, same Santa every year, same marketing, just switch the dates. So it's just a really, really easy thing to do, and clients love it. And then we do a giveaway. So something for them just to say thank you for being our clients. Ours is a Louis Vuitton giveaway. We're doing it right now, actually. What I'll say about giveaways is just make sure that it's your target market and audience. I tried to do a green egg giveaway years ago, and that thing fell flat. I was like, Happy Father's Day, win a grill. And so then I looked at the analytics of our database and who we get business from, and it's women. Women are sending us business, right? And that's just it. They're like ages 30 to 65, right? So a range. And so we're like, okay, well, if that's where our business comes from, then what do they like? Who doesn't like Louis Vuitton, right? And so that was really big for us because that got us a lot of activity. And then they'll share it on their social, right? And then their friend from work is like, oh, cool, what is that? Oh, my realtor does this every year. So just being something that your people will really appreciate. Um, and then asking for referrals the right way. So you, instead of saying, do you know anyone looking to buy or sell? Sometimes I do that. I'm just like, hey, just give me a lead, right? Direct approach. But you can also say, if you hear a friend talking about moving, I'd love to give them the same level of care you experienced. So just make it whatever fits your personality. Okay, this is the most important part to me. The systems and tools for consistency. This is where we fell flat. And I'm going to open it up for questions. I'm not going to talk your head off all day. So what I want you to know though is that our business lost 33% of the volume because we went probably 5 years being transactional. So I was living my best life because over 300 deals is bringing in a good profit margin. My people were making money. Everybody was happy in my world, right? But I wasn't touching the clients. I don't even know what I was doing for about 2 years. Like just la da 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 da. Who knows? Probably buying purses myself, right? Like living the best life. And because I'd worked so hard for so long, that was really refreshing to me just to kind of let loose and be like, look at this company I've built. Well, if you don't have systems in place, the company won't continue building without you. So if I don't have systems, and I'm gallivanting around just thinking I'm living my best life, who is touching the past clients? My agents weren't touching them because I didn't tell them how I built it. And also, do I want them doing all those touches? Not really. I want them out there selling. And even to this day, they'll do their personal DTD too. But like I'm the one being the ISA in the background, like making sure that everybody's being touched because it's so important to me. Because I sat there just like, what happened? You can't blame market conditions for a 33% loss. So now you're wondering how you're making payroll, how you're even going to give these people the quarterly bonuses that they've become accustomed to. And I'm like, what went wrong? And so my director of operations, she wasn't actually the DOO at the time. She was sitting in all sorts of different seats wherever I could find something for her because I just thought she was brilliant, but I couldn't figure out where to put her. And she said, I need to be your DOO and we have to fix this database. And I'm like, that's it. Okay, I trust you. So then you guys can imagine how long it took for us to clean up, import, tag the entire database. So if you're not organized, go ahead and start now. I don't care how many you do a day, just make a goal and make sure that you've got the name, email, phone number, address, maybe some notes on their client profile because it's so important. So it took us a long time. It took us about a year to clean all of that up. And then we started to see that trajectory going back up. And now I'm in it. I put myself in the ISA role to touch these clients the same way that I was building it, right? And then now I can pass off a happy repeat client and still get that repeat referral business because now I've got the agents asking for it and I'm also asking for it. So I'm like, hey, congrats on going under contract, guys. Who else can we help? who do you know? So just basically taking the same systems that I had before and implementing them at a higher level. So it's been huge, but that's what happened if we just don't ask them for business. You've got to supplement with something else. And if you're not going to ask them for business, your supplement is going to cost you money. It's going to be billboards, it's going to be ads, and then it's going to bring you the people that you have to earn the trust. Like that is so much work. There's no way I could stop working at 2 o'clock every day, right? If I'm like going on these hour-long appointments, maybe not even converting them, like, why don't I just reach out to people and ask them to send me people? So that's what we've been doing. Been working on that for the past year, and it's been really, really good. So that's why I'm very passionate about this. I just want to make sure that people don't repeat the same mistakes that I did. When everything looks really good in someone's business, that could just be a month, 6 months, or a year. And if we don't continue doing this, reaching out and letting people know that we care, I feel like I need to end on a happy note. But the good news is that it's easy. So wake up and time block for it. And I know we've all heard it before. So sometimes I say things, I'm like, everybody learn this in Ignite. But the thing is we don't do it. I know there's so many of you that will go home today. And if you actually keep track of how many conversations you had, it's not very many, right? I start doing tally marks because it feels to me like I talked to 20 people. And then I look at my tally marks, I'm like, oh, I only talked to 5, but it feels like more. So it's not enough. It needs to be enough to move the business forward. And I do believe that now we have to talk to more people than we had to talk to even 5 years ago. We've just got to, at least in our market, we're saturated with real estate agents. Uh, and I just want to make sure that I'm top of mind. I don't want anyone to question. I don't want to go against 5 other agents on a listing appointment. Like, don't throw my name in the hat, please. Like, that's not even doing me a favor. I want to be the only name. So the only way to do that is to be there, ready, willing, able to help, and make it an obvious choice so that they don't want to interview anybody else. I talk really fast. Sorry, guys. I'm from New York originally. All right, let's open this up for Q&A. I'm an open book. You can literally ask me anything. If you don't want to say it out loud, you guys can put it in the chat. I don't know if you can unmute on this or if it has to be in the chat. Can you drop the link again for the playbooks? Yep, I'll put it in right here. Please sign up for it, you guys. We're working really, really hard on this. And Bobby Houston, I'm put her name here. Follow her on social, you guys. She's called the database doctor, is what she's dubbed now. So KWRI is like onto her. She's rewriting Ignite for operations. So if you guys do have ops people, she will do a monthly Q&A. Yes, you guys, she's changed my entire world. Yay. Yeah, she's just such a delight, and she's absolutely brilliant. She also started on our Instagram. If you guys follow this, there's hardly any followers, but it's called The Agent Arch, and we just started it. We're just launching it. But what that's going to be is our Instagram page where we're sharing what we're doing as well. So that would be something cool to follow because whatever we're learning, we're just putting it out there to help you guys grow because we're still learning every day too. So we figure, again, fastest way to success. If you learned anything from today, the path of least resistance is what I do in sales. I want happy clients, I want them under contract quick, and I want them closed out quick. Thinking back to when you were getting started, what were the habits that helped you move forward? So the first 6 months, I was a real estate paralegal still because I was financially scared to jump because the kids were really small. We just didn't have the money, right? Like I had a spreadsheet of my signs, my lockbox cost, MLS dues, and it felt like that just was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I was sitting at the law office. I don't know if you guys have title companies or attorneys there, but the job that those people do on the back end for closings is crazy. I'm talking 60-hour weeks. So I'd get there early, I would leave late because everything's time sensitive in that role. And so what I would do is I couldn't make phone calls, so I would message on Facebook and I would just be like, "Hey, how's it going? Do you know anyone that I can help buy or sell?" So that was literally like I wouldn't get up from my desk because I had to get my work done and I had to lead generate. So I would do at least those 20 contacts a day for sure. Return on mailers. Yes. So we also track everything. And so those stats, we spend about, well, 1,100 a month on mailers and we are getting about 2 listings a month. Hear me out though. That's good. That's a great return because what we're doing is we're only marketing the neighborhoods that we've sold in before. So there's one that we have market share in. So that's super important. And then there's a call to action on every postcard. That could be a whole different class of how we do our mailers. And let's see what else. Oh, return. So, or I'm sorry, obviously our ROI, but we want to see, not return, we want to see turnover in the neighborhood. So what I do is I pull the last 12 months in the neighborhood and see how many people have sold versus how many people live in the neighborhood. And we want at least 8% turnover. So if there's that turnover, then we're willing to invest the money. We do the mailers through Command. It's actually really cheap. It's the cheapest way we found, and the postcards look really good. And then we also use Twilio for text messaging because that's been really cheap too. We do that through Command, and that gives me huge leverage. So when I'm doing my DTD2, I can kind of show you guys what it looks like if you don't know. So like today when I get, oh, there we go. Today when I get off this call, it'll have how many people I need to reach out to. Like I've got past due task in here. So 21. So I'll knock those out. But I've set up shortcuts on my phone. So it's like I've got people I need to follow up with that just closed. So I'll hit the C asterisk and then it'll be like, "Hey, this is Stacey Sauls. I just want to thank you so much for buying a home or selling a home." I'll edit it a little bit. If there's anything we could have done better to serve you, please let me know. We're here for you. That's like one of my touches, right? So I've got everything shortcutted depending on what they're doing. If they are a lead that's buying a house and we can't get in touch with them, I have a shortcut for that that sends them a survey that will basically LP Mama them. So when they open the link, it'll be, where are you looking? What's your desired price point? So it'll answer all those questions without me having to like get on the phone. So again, easiest thing. Like, because sometimes on Monday morning, I have 200 tasks in the queue. So that's a lot to go through, right? I've got to hit those people. So I've got shortcuts for, hey, hope you guys are doing great. If you want an updated home value, just let me know, and I'll just send that on out. And then I am doing mailers in my area, which I don't have market share in. There's another agent that has market share where I live. And I haven't had a good return on that. So I would just preach if you're going to mail, just make sure it's where you've got market share. And if you don't have market share yet, that's the first thing. Focus on getting it and then implement mailers. But yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to throw money at stuff and get a return. It's just not the fastest way to do it. And obviously, it's not cost effective. The easiest is just getting out there and just showing people that you are the expert, even if you make up being the expert, right? Like when I first started, I had a house. So I posted the front of it on social media, my client's under contract. And then for inspections, I posted a picture of the kitchen and I was like, I'm so happy for my client to be in her new home. And then I closed, I did the backyard, like, look at my client's beautiful backyard. Can't wait for them to close. So it looked like it was 3 separate houses. even though it was one. And then I had somebody reach out to me and say, "Hey, Stacey, I don't know if you're too busy to work with us, but we'd love to work with you." And I'm like, I have one client. So I'm like, oh my gosh, no, absolutely. I'm never too busy for you. Yes. So when people refer to us, we do send them this is so cheesy. You've probably heard it before, but thanks a latte for referring to us. We send them a Starbucks card. So our operations team does a handwritten note, puts Starbucks card in it, and mails that thing off. And then sometimes if they send us a lot, we'll do send out cards. You can send bigger gifts through send out cards to thank them. So yeah, we are loving on them. We also love on our agent referral partners. So what I've realized a gap in our business was we would get a referral in, and then say Amber sends us a referral, and Amber's like wondering, well, what's going on with this client, right? And I'm like, oh, they're just not ready yet. Well, that's not good enough. So now we have a system in place to where we update Amber every couple weeks. This is where we're at with the client. This is when you can expect to close. We are under contract on this. Here's the commission, and here's whatever. Here's what your check's gonna be when we're sending it out. Boom, we're closed. Here it comes. Here's where it was mailed. So we're doing much better job of loving on those referral partners because 35% is a huge part of business. So we want to keep that going too. Just getting better systems in place to where everybody knows we're like a well-oiled machine at this point. And so yeah, we'll send the cards for Starbucks. Then I also will be like, hey, thanks so much for sending so and so. One of our past clients sent his friend to us. And so obviously we did all of that, but then the friend went under contract yesterday. So I said, hey, Gabe, I said, your friend's under contract. Look at this super cute house that they're buying. And then Gabe's like, you guys are the best. So I'm just like constantly touching. I can't even tell you how many texts go out a day. I'm just, dude, every time it's just on my mind, making sure people think of us first. I love these questions. Anything else you guys got for me? Aw, thank you guys. I really appreciate you. You guys can reach out to me anytime because, as I said, I'm always on text. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Insta. I'm all in those messages. That's what I do. I sit here and make sure everybody gets what they need from our company. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. If there's no questions, I will let you guys go. But I hope you get a lot out of our playbooks. I hope I get to meet you at some events in the future as well. And oh, some of you guys I already know. Yay. Very cool.
Thank you, Stacey.